There was one hanging up in a hotel at Oxford, at which I was staying last spring. And when I got there, it was pointing to set fair. It was simply pouring with rain outside and had been all day. And I couldn't quite make matters out. I tapped the barometer and it jumped up and pointed to very dry. The boots stopped as he was passing and said he expected to mend tomorrow. I fancied that maybe it was thinking of the week before last. Out Boots said, "No," he thought, "not." I tapped it again the next morning, and it went up still higher, and the rain came down faster than ever. On Wednesday I went and hit it again, and the pointer went round towards set fair, very dry and much heat, until it was stopped by the peg and could not go any farther. It tried its best, but the instrument was built so that it could not prophesy fine weather any harder than it did without breaking itself. It evidently wanted to go on and prognosticate drought and water famine and sunstroke and simoons and such things, but the peg prevented it, and it had to be the content with pointing to the mere commonplace very dry. Meanwhile, the rain came down in a steady torrent, and the lower part of the town was under water, owing to the river having overflowed. Boots said it was evident that we were going to have a prolonged spell of grand weather some time, and read out a poem which was printed over the top of the oracle about long foretold, long past, short notice, soon past. The fine weather never came that summer. I expect that machine must have been referring to the following spring. Then there are those new style of barometers, the long straight ones. I never can make head or tail of those. There is one side for 10 a.m. yesterday and one side for 10 a.m. today. But you cannot always get there as early as 10, you know. It rises and falls for rain and fine, with much or less wind, and one end is Nelly and the other is LA. What's LA got to do with it? And if you tap it, it does not tell you anything. And when you have got to correct it to the sea level and reduce it to Fahrenheit, and even then, I don't know the answer. But who wants to be foretold the weather? It is bad enough when it comes, without our having the misery of knowing about it beforehand. The prophet we like is the old man who, on the particularly gloomy looking morning of some day when we particularly want it to be fine, looks round the horizon with a particularly knowing eye and says, "Oh no, Sarai Singh, It will clear up all right. It will break all right. Enough, sir.